Hello, pilots, and welcome back to this X-Wing flight video brought to you by Out of Art Gaming. As always, my name is Phil, and today we have round 5 of the Ambusher Alderaan tournament that was recently hosted by Entoyment Wargaming and Hobby Centre in Poole. And joining me for this final round of the tournament, we have...
James. I'm back from, I think it was round 2 I was at last time?
Yes, it was in fact round 2, which was our Resistance Showdown. And in fact, during that game, we did actually have Ben on our right there as well.
Yes, I am not the only one returning for this round 5 game.
Indeed, but it's not a Resistance Showdown this one. We actually have a Republic list on the board, and not just any Republic list, it's the Dual Etters list. So,
it's the Anakin and Obi-Wan. Their abilities work together. We'll get into it.
Yeah, it's a really interesting list. It's a very large bid as well. I'm very curious to see how this one goes down. But let's quickly go through those lists and then we can have all of our discussions and shenanigans as we always do. So on our left, we have Stuart running the Dual Etters. He has Anakin Skywalker with R2A6, Jamming Beam, Precognitive Reflexes, Stealth Device, and Outmaneuver. He also has Obi-Wan Kenobi with R7A7, Auto Blasters, Supernatural Reflexes, Stealth Device, and Lone Wolf. So packing those two little ships out as high as he can. Still only 181 points though.
There's some expensive upgrades there. But with 2 ships, you've got plenty of room to just go, yeah, I'll spend them. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're still getting a massive bid there. In fact, I think this list probably had the largest bid of any list in the whole tournament.
I would be surprised if anyone had a higher bid. I mean, what was the total points? 181?
181.
It's a 19-point bid.
Yeah. That's quite scary, to be honest. It's quite scary.
You can fit some ships in for that, can't you?
No.
Probably not for that faction.
No. The base TIE Fighter, if
that's like
22 points.
22. You can nearly
fit a whole ship in. I think the only ship you could fit in there is the Nashtar Pup. But that's on a completely different faction. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's a crazy bid on there. I mean, it's always guaranteed that he gets to pick if he wants to go first. When you're initiative 5 and 6, 2 ships, you really want to be able to make that choice. So,
especially with some of the upgrades that he has, but we'll get into those in a bit.
We will. And so, what's Ben running this time again? If you remind us from round 2.
So Ben has Rose Tico with C-3PO crew. He has also brought Zari Bangle in the A-Wing with the Thread Tracers. And then he has 3 Red Squadron experts in the T-70s, all with Heroic and the S-Foils.
Nice. Again, a good solid list. We did mention that Zari was an interesting choice as we don't see her, but she has a great ability, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, so Zari can still perform an action after partially executing a maneuver. So if she bumps, she can still do an action. She doesn't skip her turn at all, which is great when you've got her with the Thread Tracers, because that is setting up Ben's opening shot.
Yeah, I mean, you essentially just go, right, I'll take the focus. Oh, I bumped into that ship. All right, I'll Thread Tracer the other ship. They're all at I3 as well. So Ben gets to pick which order they shoot in. So, I mean, it's almost a
good thing to have.
Yeah, it's almost a given that Zari is going to shoot first. And this looks like a very similar opening to what we had in round 2 from Ben as well, to be honest.
Oh, definitely. Zari off at the side with the bulk of the ships together with Rose supporting from behind.
Yeah, except this time, definitely not jousting, as the Etters are in the other corner.
I'd be surprised if Stuart put the 3 health ships just opposite of all of those T-70s.
Yeah, I don't know if he had a sneak peek at what was happening at round 2 when those 3 T-70s chewed through the Star Fortress, but yeah, Etters are not jousting ships. They are definitely your flankers. They want to be getting around the outside, especially Anakin Skywalker with outmaneuver. He wants to be sticking out of your arc, reducing your agility, and just wailing away with his guns.
Yeah, and with only 3 health, you can't risk being shot at that much.
Yeah, I mean, I expect these ships to be utilizing their dual movements as much as possible. The fact that they can, in the system phase, perform a purple boost or barrel roll is really good. I mean, obviously, if they were able to do it before they revealed their dial, it would be a little bit nicer because that way they have a bit more knowledge. But Anakin does have precognitive reflexes, so he could potentially boost and/or barrel roll before he's even moved.
Yeah, it's effectively the I'm blanking on it now. What's the other upgrade that actually do that? It's a sensor thing, isn't it?
Advanced sensors, yes.
Advanced
sensors, yeah. And Obi-Wan has a similar. So before he activates, he may spend the Force to perform a barrel or boost action. So he's got supernatural reflexes. So
yeah, which is a lot of points. But why doesn't Anakin also have that? That's a much better version of what he already has.
So
I'll tell you exactly why. Because it's 32 points on Anakin.
That's why. So that is actually an additional 19 points. Precognitive reflexes is 13 points.
If Stuart didn't want to bid, he could have it. But I feel like the bid is more valuable in this instant.
And to be honest, I still think precog is a really good upgrade on Anakin. So it's really going to be utilizing the maneuverability of those ships. They've got a fantastic dial. I mean, they're the first ship to actually have a purple maneuver, which is that 2 Talon roll, which
that's cool.
Is absolutely insane. So you can't discount that.
Yeah. Speaking of Anakin's maneuvers, he's also got the R2A6 astromech, where after you reveal your dial, you can change it to the same bearing, but 1 speed higher or lower. So even more positioning options for him.
Absolutely. So, I mean, he could basically dial in the 2 hard and go, I think I'll go 1 or 3 instead. Or even the straight maneuvers, he could dial in a 3 or a 4 and then go a little bit slower, a little bit faster. They are just set up to react to what his opponent is doing.
Absolutely.
That is just really good. And then you've got the classic crit bot with Obi-Wan, where he's got auto blasters on there, plus R7A7. So auto blasters. If the defender is in your bullseye, roll 1 additional die. During the neutralized result steps, if you are not in the defender's firing arc, forward arc that is, so that doesn't matter about Zari's turret, and also wouldn't matter about a 180 arc. So forward arc, evade results do not cancel crits. Couple that with R7A7, while you forward attack, you may spend 1 charge to change 1 hit to a crit.
And R7 has 3 charges. They don't come back. That would be utterly ridiculous.
Oh, that would be, yeah. He definitely wouldn't be 3 points.
Yeah, 3 chances to just go take a damage.
I mean, I have run a similar crit bot. I did it with an Anakin crit bot with R7A7 and auto blasters, and it's rude. Like, really good fun, but really, really rude.
Right.
But also, you're stacking up on trying to keep them alive as much as possible by having that stealth device on there. So
yeah, the stealth device I think is going to come really in handy against this opening, just barrage of stuff.
Yeah.
If Zari can land those thread tracers, then whichever one of the Jedi she hits, then
if they're in arc, is going to be in trouble because you'll be looking at double modded shots there. And we've seen how powerful those double modded shots can be from the Red Squadron experts. So it's going to be interesting who gets that first Alpha strike off. Stuart's going to have a lot of work to do. He's going to be...
He's got a lot of health to get through.
Yeah, I almost think he's going to be relying quite a bit on Obi-Wan with that crit bot of trying to actually get ships down. He is probably the main attacker in Stuart's list out of the two. I always feel that Anakin is a little bit of bait, as it were.
Yeah, I could see that.
So, and especially the positioning with Anakin being right up there, quite, in comparatively speaking, quite close, straight ahead, almost looking like he's potentially going for a joust.
I really don't think he is. I
really
already see him barrel rolling off to the side a bit.
Yeah, I really don't think he
Going
is.
As close to the board edge as he can.
Yeah.
Just trying to delay that opening encounter so that maybe Ben's ships get a little out of alignment with each other, out of range for abilities.
Yeah, I mean, what's going to be really tricky for Ben is getting in a position that he keeps at least one arc on one of these ships at any time because of how quick and how maneuverable they are.
I mean, he's got enough ships that he can spread quite a wide net.
Yeah, but he also needs to do it from a little bit of range as well, because it's when he gets too close is when it's going to be easier to slip that net.
True. Yeah, the Jedi will just dance out of the way quite easily, probably. Have we gone over Anakin and Obi-Wan's actual abilities themselves?
No, we haven't.
Those work amazingly together, like specifically those two.
Yeah. So again, typical ones, quite wordy, but fairly straightforward. So after you or a friendly Obi-Wan Kenobi ship at range 0 to 3 executes a maneuver, if there are more enemy ships than other friendly ships at range 0 to 1 of that ship, you may spend 1 force. If you do, that ship removes 1 red token of your choice. So that's Anakin.
Anakin can remove stress.
Yeah, basically go, oh, I did something stressful. Okay, I'll get rid of that. I mean, in all fairness, unless something is... You'll be looking at 4K or Panic Pilot or him going over one of those debris fields to getting stressed, because that's pretty much the only way he's going to get stress.
Yes.
So he can basically get rid of that, or he can allow Obi-Wan to get rid of that. And Obi-Wan's, after you or a friendly Anakin Skywalker ship at range 0 to 3 executes a maneuver, if there are more enemy ships than other friendly ships at range 0 to 1 of that ship, you may spend 1 force. If you do, that ship gains 1 focus token.
So exchanging a force for a focus.
Yes.
In the right circumstances.
Yes, absolutely. From a certain point of view. And focus versus force is interesting because force is similar to a calculator. You can only use it on 1 dice, whereas a focus... I think overall a focus is going to be better than a force.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't need to spend more force on a given attack or defense, like throughout the entire engagement phase, then I think the focus token is worth it.
Yeah.
And particularly if you are, to trigger all of this anyway, you need to be range 1 of a ship. So you've either got to really defend, or you've lined up a really good shot.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it there, I'm pretty sure that Obi-Wan right now is going to be out of the range 1 bubble. That's a very terrible range 1 bubble, but I'm pretty sure he's out of it.
Well, I think at the moment they're probably out range 3 of each other anyway.
Yeah, there is that. But Obi-Wan can do it on himself, though, as well. Which is
that's
the thing.
True. Yes.
So it's very clear that they can do that on themselves on there. Anakin...
Trying to get a bit of cover behind that.
Trying to get a bit of cover, yep. Looks like, judging on it, you're going to have Zari's going to get him. I think Red is out.
I think Red and possibly the one behind Red.
I think he might sneak it.
Close.
And he definitely will.
But they'll be obstructed. So again, good positioning from Stuart there.
Yes. Very good positioning.
Making advantage of that one little bit of debris over there.
Yeah. And that's Obi-Wan taking a shot there, hit crits. So that will be so 1 damage on Zari, because that was auto blasters, and it was out of arc. Yes, auto blasters. So couldn't cancel that crit. Did actually spend a charge to get that crit through.
But the defender is not in the bullseye.
With auto blasters, if you are outside of, if the attacker is outside of the defender's forward arc.
Oh, sorry, that's the additional die.
Yeah, the additional die.
Auto blasters.
Yeah.
My apologies.
But auto blasters is one of those ones that isn't as wordy, but does more than say.
When you said it's auto blasters, I scrolled over it and it was like, oh, it says it's bullseye, but I didn't read it properly. Read your cards, people.
Like auto blasters is almost has the exact same wording as the actual Eta 2 in that it's 2 dice normally, 3 in the bullseye.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So it's almost like it was designed for the Eta 2.
And I think that may have been Zari missing with the thread tracers.
No, that was Zari hitting with the thread tracers.
Oh, that was a hit.
What they're discussing at the moment is, do thread tracers cancel the stealth device? Answer, no, they don't, because stealth device is when you suffer
damage.
Yeah. So it's after you suffer damage, lose that stealth. Thread tracers obviously don't cause damage. They allow ships at range 0 to 3 to gain that target lock. So that'll be everyone there except from Rose, who is just outside of that range 3 bubble.
But I mean, getting those target locks is amazingly good news for Ben.
Oh, green was just out of arc there.
So it is just going to be, was it blue at the back?
Yeah, just going to be blue at the back. So that's going to be...
For now, but, keep those target locks for another time.
Looks like range 2, I believe they just called that.
We'll see how many green dice come out.
So there's 5 green dice, that's range 2. Spending a force.
Just to make sure you don't take any damage and keep your stealth device.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, I could see a potential issue with running out of force for the Jedi.
So they do, obviously, a lot of their shenanigans require them to use force. So you can, what's quite nice is Stuart's obviously put those tokens right by the ships. I think that's so that he can track them easier as well. But also it's going to make it a lot easier for us to track them as well. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do see occasions where those Jedi do become a bit force-starved. However, they've got the speed to be able to just zip out of there
and
for
just build them
a
back
turn or two. Yeah. I mean, you could almost imagine them being very much hit and run. They're not brawlers. They're not sticking around and sticking in that combat. They're going to want to get some damage in, get out, reposition, come back in. I remember saying to Stuart on the day that this list looks like a fun list to play, but not one I would want to take to a tournament myself, purely because the mental restraint.
Yeah, there's a lot of different options you've got, and you need to find out what the best ones are.
Yeah, and you need to have a lot of restraint as well, because you want to, as I said, you want to get in, get say half damage, get out, then come back in and try and finish off. You don't want to get in the thing and go, oh, half damage. If I just stick in there, I could probably take them. That's when you are going to go down. You need to be patient.
That is definitely a trap for low health lists.
Yeah. And if we look at the current rankings at the start of round 5, Stuart is the only player out of 21 who is on 4-0. His MOV, though, is only 10-14. So he doesn't have a very high MOV. Ben is currently 3-1, with his only loss being in round 3, and that was by 3 points.
Oh, that's
a 3-point loss.
Oh.
But he has an MOV of 1164.
Okay.
So quite a big difference there in the style of list. Obviously, Ben's is a bit more of a brawler list. It can get in, it can dish it out, but it can also take a punch. Whereas Stuart's is definitely your flyweight, get in, get some hits in, get out, come back in.
Yeah, Ben's list is definitely that's something I can just take out early. I'll wound it at least, and then work my way through the rest of the list later.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at this stage of the tournament, our top 6 players, we have Stuart on 4-0, and we have 5 other players on 3-1. Now, any of those players could actually win this with the right MOV swing. If Stuart doesn't win this game, he could
lose on MOV.
He could lose on MOV. So that is probably one of the biggest risks in a list like this, in that you're not scoring high points. So
I don't know, Stuart, but do you think he was aware of that going into this?
Oh, I think he was very aware of that. Throughout the day, I'd been wandering around the tables, having a look and see at what was going on, discussing things with people, and he was very much aware that for him, he wasn't taking ships out. He was half-pointing ships and relying on not giving up points himself.
Right, so, he knew that he was there to either win a game, not really thinking about, not so much not thinking about the MOV, but just sort of disregarding the MOV as something that he needs to get.
Yeah, he was very much focused on the points of that game and making sure that his points were more than his opponent's, so that he got the win regardless of whether it was by 3 points, by 10 points, by 200 points. He was just in it for that win and hoping to go 5-0.
In a tournament, a win's a win. And if it comes down to a tiebreaker, then it's MOV. But if you can guarantee that you don't get to that tiebreaker, then you've won.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, he flew this list really well throughout the tournament. As you can see, he's 4-0 at this point. In this early stage, we can see that he knows what he's looking to do. Plus, I'm not going to lie, the paint jobs and dial covers on those ships
I was just about to mention
spectacular.
He's used these ships a lot because he has specific dial covers for each of them.
Yeah, and
the paint job that Ben has done on his dials, I really like.
Ben has a lot of good paint jobs on his ships. I'm not going to lie.
But the Eta 2 ones for Stuart, just like that Anakin one in particular, really pops.
Oh yeah, and it's a shame you can't see the Obi-Wan one as well. But again, that just looks so cool. There is actually Stuart came down with a friend of his who's also playing Republic, and he's lent him one of his other Etas, which is in the sort of like transitional Republic to Empire period before Darth Vader moved away from the Etas, and it's that dark grey and red Eta. So
that's cool.
And it was a very lovely looking model. I took several pictures of that, I'm not going to lie. And if you want to see some of those pictures from the tournament, you can check out our Instagram @OutOfArc, and you'll see quite a lot of pictures from all the rounds there. There are close-up pictures of these two Etas and the pre-Imperial Eta as well. So definitely worth having a look on there.
Ben is going for Anakin.
Oh, he really is.
Thing is, Anakin's done his little pre-maneuver, and now he might just go right past.
Yeah, he might just be able to slip past.
In fact, with his astromech, he could speed up.
Yeah. It's interesting. It all comes down to where Rose goes. If Rose gets herself into a good position to block a faster maneuver, that could be quite good.
Thing is, I think even if a faster maneuver gets bumped at this point, I don't know how many ships are going to be able to shoot Anakin.
True. It is a really tough one. And like I said, a lot of ships you could probably trap in a corner like that and it'll be fine. Bringing Zari around there is actually quite a good one.
Yeah, Zari might get a shot. Oh, did that?
No, didn't make it past the debris there, so...
Fails the boost.
Fails the boost. Still gets that focus. So that's a shame, and also is now stressed. But A-Wings don't mind stress so much because they can get rid of that fairly easily. But it will take him a bit longer to catch up to Anakin now.
Yeah, they've got, 2 banks that are blue, 3 banks that are blue. All of the straits are blue. Yeah, I would say the sharp 2, but there's is that debris or a rock?
That's a debris there.
Debris. Okay.
I think that's for me the thing that's making me go, oh, that's going to be a bit tricky, because That's almost exactly where Zari probably would want to be going next turn. But Ben just really, really thinking about his action with Rose there.
Yeah, so Rose has the option to, well, do a lot of things. The usual kind of actions, also a barrel roll, a jam, and a coordinate, which are interesting options.
Yes, the coordinate is quite an interesting option, actually. I quite like that, but I'm not sure how.
I don't think here it's going to be too useful because they've already all got the target locks. I mean, maybe give blue a focus.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And a quick picture. Look, I've got him, and then we'll maybe see where he ends up. It looks like just a focus for Rose.
Yeah. And Obi-Wan looking like he's loving life right there.
Which is kind of weird for Obi-Wan because, you know, he hates flying.
Absolutely, but he's a brilliant ship to fly. Pilot. I mean, I find it like we've mentioned it a couple of times how there are certain things that just work out so thematic in this game with titles of the ships, abilities of the upgrades and pilots that work so well. I mean, you've got Anakin in the Etta is the hero of Coruscant, and Obi-Wan is the guardian of democracy, and those two really sum them up. I think one thing that, I mean, I know it's right from what you've seen that Obi-Wan is an I5, but I almost wouldn't have been disappointed if they'd have made him an I4 in that he's a good pilot, but he holds himself back in a way.
Yeah, maybe.
But again, I think if you want to fly Anakin and Obi-Wan together, so having an I6 and I5 just is right.
Yeah, particularly, you know, these two in the Etta 2s, it's the opening for Revenge of the Sith, and it's one of the best space fights in the series.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, easily.
I mean, I would love to see like a slightly extended version of it, but it is very cool. Ooh, interesting. We've got a barrel roll in there.
Getting closer to the T-70s.
Yeah, that is all force used.
But yes. Okay, so this is Anakin doing which
3 bank?
Possibly.
He's either. Let's see what goes. Yes, that's the 3 hard. So deliberately bumping into Rose.
But it's a bump out of everyone else's arc.
That is absolutely spot on. Exactly.
So let me just double check the order that Anakin did things. So in the system phase, he used Anakin's ship ability intuitive controls to do a boost.
Yep.
And then at the start, after revealing his dial, he then used precognitive reflexes to do the barrel roll.
Yep.
And then he finally did his maneuver, which bumps, but that didn't matter anyway because precognitive reflexes stop you getting your action after doing it anyway.
Yeah, and at this stage, I don't know. Obviously, I can't tell whether he actually had dialed in the 3 or if he dialed in the 2 at that point.
That's true. He may have changed that as well.
So he may have R2. He may have R2A6 that. So here's Obi-Wan shooting into Rose. Will he spend the force?
You got 2.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's spending a force and he's spending an R7A7.
Really going for the support ship.
Really, I mean, he's got it in auto blaster's range, and it doesn't have a lot of health. So again, Stuart's mentality is get damage where you can get damage, then get out and come back and do it again. And so re-rolling for Rose's ability there, so that's just 1 shield gone due to obviously not evading it, but also wouldn't have been able to evade that crit anyway.
But denying half points.
Yes, so that is something that's definitely going to play in Ben's favour right now.
And I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Zara didn't turn their gun around because they just didn't.
Yeah, went for the boost instead. Now, Ben needs to turn around quite quickly.
Yeah, and there is a bit of debris fairly in the way.
Yeah, so you can. I think at least one ship will be going over that. I anticipate most likely green might be hitting that.
It's close. If green maybe does a too sharp turn, he might not hit it, but at that point you might as well just go over it, really.
Yeah, it's one of those awkward ones, isn't it? But
And Zari's stressed, and Rose is... Well, I mean, she's not completely on her own, but she's limited in how slowly she can move.
yeah. Now, I kind of anticipate Anakin just booking it at the moment to try and build his force back up.
True, it looks like he is down to just one at the moment.
He is. Obi-Wan has 2 force remaining. Again, I can imagine that Obi-Wan is... I wouldn't be surprised if Obi-Wan also tries to get out of there a little bit, because Stuart's got to know that Ben is going to turn everything around. So you'd probably be anticipating K-turns, Talon rolls potentially to get quickly turned around.
Or do you take advantage of them having to turn around to get in there for a quick shot whilst they have less tokens?
See, that's
a conundrum. There's a lot more going on, I reckon.
Yeah, that is where it gets really tricky, and that's where I think flying Stuart's list is on a one-off, fine. On a tournament, that's where it's going to start sort of hurting your brain a little bit, because you're going to be like, do I try and be cheeky? Do I push my luck? But I don't know. I mean, Anakin's definitely out there. I almost imagine that Obi-Wan is probably going to want to get out of there as well. I reckon Obi-Wan...
I think you go kind of slow with Obi-Wan, knowing that they need to go pretty quick in order to do their red maneuvers.
Ooh, well, we've got the intuitive controls barrel roll. So maybe Obi-Wan might come round here to try and get out and then boost up.
Potentially, yeah.
And then just come back round. I don't know. Anakin, I'm almost confident Anakin is going to be doing some form of straight maneuver, probably. Maybe a 5 straight. Yeah. 5 straight followed by a boost. Just get out of there.
Yeah, just keep him safe.
Yeah. So we've seen blue do the K-turn. This is green.
Oh, I think that
he
clips
it.
But opted to do the Talon roll, so that's going to be 2 stresses.
But I think at this stage, potentially ouch. Well, there's a shield down on green.
Well, I mean, at least it's only a shield, not a crit.
I mean, I do think that is probably still a sensible option. Is that a 2K turn from Rose? I forgot that ship.
3K turn.
3K turn. It didn't look long enough to be a 3, but
maybe. Oh well.
Still, I forgot that ship had that. And there's Zari just getting rid of that stress. Again, K-Wings, they're quick enough that they can get back round and it's not going to bother them so much.
Interesting that Zari's turned that way, though.
I think Ben obviously anticipated that he had the other ships were potentially going to be in the way, so wanted to try and avoid bumping.
Okay, rotating the gun to the rear. Something that I'll probably forget about.
Yeah. And just a 2 hard from red there.
Keeping a wingmate near the A-wing. Okay.
I like it. You've almost got like two mini squadrons now, whilst they've got
that is one thing that having 5 or more ships gives you the option to do, is go, right, well, opening up, had a big group of ships, and now I've got kind of 3 groups.
Yeah. Oh, one hard from Obi-Wan there to the left. Definitely going to have to do something to...
he did the barrel roll earlier, didn't he? So the only repositioning he's got is the boost.
That?
Going on the attack.
Yeah.
But also out of the way of Anakin.
Yeah, out of the way of Anakin, who's doing...
That does look like a 5.
Yeah. And again, Oh.
That happens.
Yeah, it's pretty much back in the right place. I still reckon Anakin's going to boost, though. Yeah, there we go. He really wants to get away. He doesn't want to have just 3 shots into him. I'm looking at it.
Green might just have a range 3 shot onto Obi-Wan.
I think Rose just misses at the back.
Yeah, I think Rose is out of arc. Oh, misses the shot.
And I think coming back, I think it's both missing there, but it looks like Obi-Wan is going down at
Obi-Wan's
red.
in a slight angle, so he might just clip the side of Rose.
Looks like he's going long range onto Zari. Has bullseyes, so it's not great.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Not great. So just the 1 hit, and Ben comfortably evades that.
But making the most of his red dice options.
Yeah. So Anakin is far enough away. That looks like it's range 3 on Obi-Wan, so that'll be 1 billion green dice.
To dodge 1 crit.
Well, Ben launched 1 out, so
true.
just 1 crit. Absolutely fine. So yeah, 5 green dice there. Range 3, stealth device, 3 basic. Oh, blue as well. Forgot about. Didn't see him there.
Is that range 3 through
range 3 through the debris?
If this hits, I don't know. I'll be surprised at the very least.
Oh no, it's fine. All I could see there was the 3 focuses. I almost missed the 2 evades that Obi-Wan needed. Yeah, there was a lot to look at.
And now the Jedi get more force. I think 2 force is a safe place to be at.
Yeah, I mean, if they can stick on 3 force, they absolutely love it. But 2 force still gives them the option to use both of their
2 is enough to give you confidence of, okay, I can do a fight.
Yeah.
Whereas 1, you're like, maybe I will just 5 straight and boost away from everything.
I think Anakin's probably a little bit concerned with all those target locks on him, to be honest.
There is also that, yeah.
So it always makes Obi-Wan the better option to have in there.
I'm really impressed that Zari landed that shot earlier.
Yes, that was good, actually. You don't expect that against, was it 5 green dice at the time? Because I don't think it was obstructive, so... It was a while back, but yeah, I mean, landing that shot was...
There's a lot of green dice.
It was I always think it was a speculative risk for Ben that definitely paid off. He wouldn't have been too disappointed if he didn't get the target locks, but getting the target locks makes him obviously quite happy. Now, this is...
Ooh,
blue going risky there. He really just wants to get his arc turned in. So, loses and regains the stress.
There is that, but what's another bad roll for that 1 debris cloud.
Yeah. There you go, debris cloud, MVP of the match so far.
If it wasn't for the crits that were coming up, I feel like sacrificing actions for the positioning is probably better against the likes of Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Yeah. I mean,
having a shot is far better than having tokens and no shot.
Yeah. I mean, if that was Anakin in Obi-Wan's position and they had the target locks there, Ben would be like, yep, absolutely fine. Ooh, casting quite a nice net though, but still 1 stress there, so can't take an action. But getting a little bit of a net going there, Obi-Wan's going to have a tougher time.
Yeah, a bit of a wall for Obi-Wan to get past as well.
Yeah.
If he wants to, go behind green and blue, maybe.
Oh, that's just lovely.
Oh, the Talon roll.
The
Right out
talent-
in the open.
Yeah,
Almost certainly looking at Obi-Wan.
just trying to get that arc as wide as possible.
Yep, sliding as far back as he can for just a little bit of extra reach.
And Zari just coming round. With her gun pointing backwards, it's almost a little bit disappointing. You'd almost think that if she was to barrel roll back to inwards, if her arc was pointing forwards, then she could have covered a quick escape from Obi there as well.
Yeah, I'm still getting to grips with when to and when not to rotate the A-wing guns.
Yeah. I think a lot of Rebel players are also getting to grips with that with the vector cannons.
Yeah.
So choosing not to stress her out and keeping the guns in the back.
Over to the Jedi.
Oh, and there is... Oh, so going to get in behind there, I reckon. So
This is supernatural.
Supernatural reflexes, yes. So is it a K turn?
I'll be impressed if it is. I think you're right.
Oh, if that's a K turn, that is just...
I really like that.
It's a 4.
Because you've got that pre-maneuvering.
Yes, that
to go, right, you're all here. If I boost to here, I can definitely hop over you.
That is fantastic, because not only that, with auto blasters, that'll be a 4 dice auto blaster shot outside of the forward arc there.
That's going to do a lot of damage.
There's only one R7 charge left though,
and Obi-Wan does only have 1 force,
but also does have Lone Wolf.
He has Lone Wolf. Never mind.
He's got a lot of tools there. Obi-Wan is in a really good position there. Anakin is also... If Anakin doesn't boost right now... Yeah, I think Anakin's got a cheeky possible range 3 shot there on red. I like that as well.
Yeah. When you've only got 2 ships in your list, you can really get those expensive and much better upgrades.
Yeah.
And so, it's showing here.
So range 3, spend a force. Yeah, spend a force. So hit crit. And that's a shield down on red. So all those red squadrons have lost a shield now. I think there's a slight downside though, is that the damage has been spread.
Yeah, still 0 points on both sides.
So spending the R7A7 to get 2, and that's a low wolf reroll, not spending the force. So gets the evade, but it doesn't matter. Auto blasters, so that's 2 shields down. I mean, that was still pretty good there. I mean, it could have been a bit better, but you could have taken that.
He snuck just behind that cloud.
Yeah, range 3. So that's going to be 6 dice. Gets it, but would have had the gas cloud anyway.
It's a frustrating list to fly against the Jedi, isn't it?
Oh, I think red just catches Obi-Wan there.
Oh.
Does he just catch Obi-Wan there? Yes, he does. And it's not obstructed due to the arc. Oh, that's a great roll.
It's a good shot. Obi-Wan.
That's better.
Oh.
That's better.
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a range 3 shot, but you're like, I finally got him in arc. He's only got 1 force. I might be able to get it. You get a good roll, and then was it 4 natural evades?
There were 3 natural evades there, so literally 3 natural evades, a blank, and a focus. So it just went, It was great. It's what makes this list tough as well. Like, if you can catch it, you can probably chew through it fairly quickly, but you need that weight of fire to that continual hitting. I mean, that's why I think these ships, although they are very good, I wouldn't necessarily say that they are top tier because they're not very forgiving. If you are a good player flying these, then they are going to be very tough. But they're not for... You need to be confident when flying this list.
Yeah, and also, as someone who plays as a lot of T70s, hard to catch aces are really difficult to play against with them, particularly higher initiative ones.
Yeah. Right, well, whilst they are setting their dials, just a reminder that if you do enjoy what we're doing here at Out of Arc Gaming and would like to support the channel, we do have a Patreon. The link is in the description below, and you can support the channel from as little as £2 a month. Any support you feel like throwing our way would be greatly appreciated and will allow us to continue doing what we're doing and hopefully bringing you even more and better content in the future.
Still 0-0.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
blue
kind
is
of weird,
close.
right?
It is. I mean, looking at it, blue is close. Rose just needs one more. Zari just needs one. Yeah, Zari, Rose, and blue just need one more.
Yeah, Ben's done a good job of almost forcing the spread of damage.
Yeah.
But if you're going to have to give up a shot to the enemy, make it on someone who's healthy.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, Ben's done a high percentage of the damage to himself. One shield on blue, one shield on green.
That. It's that one darn debris.
But again, he's got an Eta 2 behind him, which is just going to be causing him havoc.
Yeah.
I mean,
a real problem now, particularly with Anakin on the other side, because if you turn around, you then got you back to another SSC.
Yeah. I think what's interesting, though, is that despite the auto blasters on Obi, because now R7's gone, you don't have to worry about guaranteed crits. But I think I prefer having Obi-Wan behind me to Anakin. Because with Anakin behind you with R2A6, he can really change his maneuver to slow roll behind you. Whereas Obi-Wan doesn't have that option. He can reposition with intuitive controls and supernatural reflexes.
So much.
Yeah. But if Anakin was behind you and you went, oh, I'm going to do a 2-bank, and he dialed in a 2-bank, he can go, all right, I'll do a 1-bank. Stay behind you.
In fact, Anakin could go, oh, I'll do a barrel roll on a 1-bank.
Yeah. So he's I think Anakin is a triple
2-bank for the S2.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they don't have the 1-bank on their dial, so yeah. But
that would be ridiculous if they also had that in addition to, I think, every other maneuver.
They don't have the 1 straight and 1 bank. So, but yeah, they pretty much have every other maneuver. They got the 4K, the 2 Talon.
No sleep.
But I mean, if they had more Ks and a sloop, it would just be ridiculous.
They need a bigger dial, I think, if they had more on it.
I'm trying to think. Because at the moment, I'm pretty sure it's the A-Wing and the Interceptor that have the most maneuvers on their dial.
I think that is probably the limit for their design space of, like, we just can't have any more than this. Yeah,
because I mean, if we start putting more on there, it just wouldn't fit. So, I mean, it's when you go from running a ship like an A-Wing or an Interceptor, then you look at a ship that has a much smaller dial, amount. It's quite funny if you go from running Interceptor list.
Well,
and then
even here,
Epic.
Comparing Anakin to Rose Tico.
Yeah. I mean, the crazy one is when you look at the Epic dials and you go, wow, there's a lot of space on there.
Where's my K-turn?
Yeah. Well, the Trident has that.
Does it?
Yes.
That's cool.
It's crazy.
Ooh.
Oh, so Anakin...
Really just trying to stay out of the fight, letting Obi-Wan sit at the back and hopefully pick off probably Rose in this instant.
I think the tricky thing is, obviously, I think Rose is going to be your best target because you've got the range one with auto blasters. But Rose's ability means she's going to get rerolls. And she's only like 30 points.
Yeah, but she's points. And
yeah, she's points. And as we said earlier, Stuart is looking to grab as many points as he can. It doesn't care where he grabs them from. If he can, reroll for Lone Wolf, perfect. Spend 1/4. That was actually not too bad. So that's
a hit and a crit going on to Rose.
A hit and a crit going on to Rose, but re-rolling because of friendly ships within
so
Rose is
Rose
firing up.
Is while you defend or perform an attack, you may re-roll up to one of your results for each other friendly ship in the attack arc.
There we go.
And there's a good re-roll.
There's the evades.
So just one crit.
Just one crit. Wounded pilots. So after you perform an action, roll 1 attack dice. On a hit or crit result, gain 1 stress token.
I mean, most of her actions are red anyway.
Yeah, I don't think she's really bothered. I mean, she probably doesn't want to double stress herself, but still, I think that's okay. And we've got a shot going into Anakin. Got the target lock.
I mean, yeah, you've got the
target
shot.
Lock focus, double modded.
Nice. Oh!
It lands.
And only 1 force point to defend.
It lands. That's a hit crit on Anakin, and it's a fuel leak. Not that really matters at this stage, but that is wow. When they hit,
if that was almost any other crit, that could have been really bad.
Yeah.
But also, it's a lot of points for Ben.
Yeah, that's 45 points now for Ben. Stuart gets his 15, but Ben has just hit for 45 there. I mean, Anakin is 89 points. Obi-Wan is more expensive at 92. And there's the evasive news there. Ben thought he had a focus, but it was on Zari there.
Yep.
Who unfortunately doesn't have an arc. But the swing is happening, guys. The swing is happening.
Just goes to show that, if you can catch them, you can win.
Yes.
It's just a matter of getting that shot.
I mean, the thing is, that was a range 3 shot. That was 2 range 3 shots into him. And, I mean, you look at it, that stealth device gone as well.
True, the loss of stealth device is worth noting, definitely. But again, the double mod coming from Zari in that first shot.
Yeah.
That I cannot stress how crucial that was in this.
And it just goes to show how good Esther tracers are. I mean, again, I'm pretty sure I said it a couple of games ago. When they first brought out thread tracers, I was like, yeah, I'm not bothered by that. Now, I've seen it at work, and I know that they are worth it. If you can get thread tracers
like
off.
this, where you've got many ships that can benefit from getting the target lock, great. Most of my lists are like 2 or 3 ships at the most, just because there's too many otherwise for me to deal with.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there are points where you've got to think, probably if you've got ships that can double tap, then yes, it's worth it. If you've got multiple ships and you can get the S threads off early, then yeah, again, that is going to be really, really good. So
now, which way is Anakin gonna go?
That was pretty much my exact thought there of where do you now go with Anakin, and does Ben split to try and capture both?
I think you focus down Anakin.
Yeah.
Because Obi-Wan's at the back. He is doing damage, but he's not going to do enough points worth of damage, particularly if you can finish Anakin.
I mean, if you can finish Anakin off, that puts a very big uphill battle for Obi-Wan. He's got to really, really push to try and get those points, because if he's not in the bullseye, he doesn't have a great shot. It's only a 2-dice shot outside of range 1.
The only benefit, really, for losing Anakin would be that he would always have Lone Wolf.
Yeah, I mean, Lone Wolf would definitely always be on. I mean, I think there might have been only one phase of this game where Lone Wolf was not active, to be honest.
It's interesting, because Lone Wolf, obviously, you want them to be far apart from each other, but their own abilities want them to be close together.
Yeah, you almost want them in that range 2 to 3 bubble, but I think it's almost impossible to keep them in that
Yeah.
unless you're flying them in a line.
Also, we haven't actually seen their abilities trigger yet, have we?
No, they've not spent them on themselves.
Or each other.
Or each other. I mean, there was one point where you possibly could have seen Obi-Wan benefiting from it when he did the 4K earlier, but Anakin was probably at range 7 or 8 at that point. So
yeah, he was out of there.
So Anakin has intuitive controls barrel rolled back towards Stuart's board edge.
Which makes me feel like he's going towards that bottom corner of the screen.
Yeah.
Bottom
Or
left.
I mean, I would say that's probably the most obvious.
What would be
option
amazing is if it's some sort of fake out and he's actually gone the other way.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I think unfortunately, where you've got blue here, if he comes just straight in and lands there.
But by doing that barrel roll, after doing that maneuver, would you then think, oh, maybe I should do a boost with blue?
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I mean, knowing Ben, he's obviously a regular at Entoyment. I've played against him quite a few times. He's commentated on the channel. He's quite a savvy player. So he's a player that's willing to play that longer game if needed. He very rarely just rushes in. As you can see here, he's really considering what he's doing.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is another brilliant piece of work from Zari. She's bumped, taking the focus and getting a boost because she can.
Of course, she still gets her action.
That's fantastic. I love that. Absolutely love that. But again, yeah, Ben is a very patient player, so he'd be willing to pull blue in and potentially not boost to give a wider net to catch Anakin in. We'll see if I've predicted that right in a moment, or whether I'm just talking rubbish.
I'm curious to see what happens up the top here, because I'd be thinking about maybe I just purposefully bump Rose into what is that, green? No, blue.
Blue.
To keep her just in the way.
And hope that Obi-Wan bumps into her, yeah.
Although, actually, no, because he has supernatural reflexes anyway.
Yeah.
So you can probably just get around it. Never mind.
There's that straight from blue. Have I called it? Will he leave him there as a safety blanket, as it were? Because at the moment, that arc coverage...
He's holding the boost template in his hand.
I mean, that arc coverage that blue, red, and green currently have, with Zari in there as well, is just... Oh, no,
he's going for it.
He's going aggressive.
If this is a fake out from Anakin...
Oh, it would be beautiful. If it's not, then Ben has called it to perfection.
Rose coming in, trying to work out what actions she's going to try. Well, she still does the action, but she might get a stress after.
Yeah.
Also, Anakin out of force.
Yes, no force, so he can't do precog. Anakin is in a very dangerous place right now.
Oh, if only we knew what Ben was thinking right now.
Yeah.
Like, he's probably thinking about, like, coordinating, maybe?
What would you potentially coordinate? Maybe a target lock for one of them?
Well, who spent their target lock already?
I believe it was Blue spent his target lock. And
that's probably out of range then.
Yeah. So...
Probably just fix the crit then. No?
No. So rolling for it. Dice cam. In the end,
failed us on that, but the stress goes on.
The stress goes on, so that was either a hit or a crit. Every time I read Wounded Pilot, I always think it's worse than it actually is. I always think, oh no, I'm going to like suffer damage there, but no, it's not. Ooh.
Yeah.
If Rose had done that intentional bump earlier, that would have bumped Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan could have then done a supernatural reflexes barrel roll off to the side to probably give him enough room to be in kind of the same scenario.
Yeah, but would have spent the force though.
True,
Oh, this
Oh, he did go that way. No.
This is brilliant. Is he going to boost around to try and get as much coverage? Yeah, he's going to try and get that gas cloud coverage for as many of those shots as possible. So it will definitely be gas clouded from red and Zari. Green might not have range.
Green, I think, is probably our range. In fact, red might also be our range.
Blue definitely will be. Oh, that's not a great shot there.
For a range 1 into Rose,
Yeah.
no.
It would be auto blasters, so Lone Wolf. So spending the force, so
Really trying to land that hit.
That's 2 blanks, but going to re-roll for Rose's ability with...
Re-roll both, I think?
Yes, so it's for all friendly ships in Arc. You can re-roll a dice for each friendly ship in Arc.
She needs 2 results.
Oh.
Even spending the focus, I think that's 2
Rose
damage
gone.
going in, and
Yeah.
Rose, yep.
That's Rose down. And the crit that Rose got there was loose stabilizer. Q jokes about, yes, that stabilizer is definitely loose.
It's so loose, it's all the way over there. And over there.
And we have a range 3 from Blue. Can we see the demise of Anakin? And Blue...
Blue, I don't
think Blue has the title. I think we see 1, 3, and 4 down there, and Blue is actually number 2.
So nothing from Blue. Checking for range from Green. That's close.
That's so close. Oh, it just catches range 3 there by the look of it.
Not great news for Anakin. Good news for that T-70.
Yeah, because he's got the focus and he's going to spend that and get 3 hits.
Target lock from earlier.
And that is Anakin down.
And another big batch of points for Ben.
Oh, Stuart gets that extra 15 points from Rose, but then Ben just responds and goes, well, I'll have all of Anakin then, please.
I mean, he dodged damage for so long.
I mean, you kind of expect them to. I mean, there was some great flying, but I think that Ben finally got that right position to pin Anakin down. I mean, he does now have to try and do some really big work to turn around and catch Obi, but Obi has got 16 minutes to score 59 points, and that's not going to be easy.
No, because the most expensive ships Ben currently has are the T-70s, and they're each 44 points, so he needs at least a T-70 and half on something else.
Yeah. T-70 and half on Zari would do it. Zari is 1 away from half, and that would give him 19 points, putting him up to 59, and then he would need to take out a T-70, probably Blue.
So you say probably Blue, but if Ben realizes that, then he'll keep Blue as safe as he possibly can. And almost offer up the other ships as better shots.
Yeah, but I mean, again, the difficulty that Stuart now has is that although Obi-Wan is very maneuverable, he is just 1 ship against 4. And those 4 ships can probably spread out a little bit, provide some cover for each other, and say, right, well, if you want to take a shot at this one, you're probably going to still get shot by this one if Ben plays it well. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all.
Yeah, this is not the end game scenario Stuart wants.
No. Especially with that clock ticking down. I think Stuart he's probably going to be right now thinking he wishes he had another 15 minutes on top of this to be able to do it.
Chew through all that health as best he can.
Because I mean, I've flown against T-70s and they're horrible. I'm not going to lie. That's
why I like them.
Yeah, I mean, they've got so much health. I mean, they've only got 2 green dice, but they've got a pretty good dial and they've got 3 dice shot.
And they normally have heroic, as these ones do.
Which we haven't seen trigger yet.
We haven't, but it's always nice to have. And it's only 1 point.
Yeah, it's in that list of 1 point talent upgrades that are just great. I think some of the 1-point talent upgrades are better than some of the more expensive ones.
Yeah, the more expensive ones tend to work with someone's own ability. Like they work together more. Like, let's say, Scum young Han Solo with Trick Shot.
Yeah,
like those clearly go together better than young Han with Crack Shot.
yeah.
Still good, but
it can't use Crack Shot anyway.
Can't it?
Because it's got a turret. Doesn't have a bullseye arc.
Well, I mean, it still has a bullseye.
I don't think it can use it. I might be wrong, but
I don't know.
it's
not a version of the Falcon I've actually ever used. So
yeah. I mean, to be honest, yeah, you look at it and there are some ships which you go, right, well, there are talent slots that are they're the ones you're going to take. You have a Phantom with a talent slot, you're taking Duke on that. You've got a Defender, you're probably taking Duke on that. Other ships will have specific upgrades that you go, yeah, they're taking that. Resistance, generally, it's a case of, I've got all these talents, I'll take Heroic, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's not too bad. So there we go. Ben has got blue in the back.
Behind the cloud.
He's also got red and green there going, if you want blue, you've got to come through us. Oh. Really going for...
He really needs to be getting into the battle at this point, though.
Yeah, I think he's hoping for Ben to...
Maybe follow him...
Yeah.
And sneak around the rock, maybe, or...
I think it's almost like he's hoping for Ben to open up that formation a bit so that he can sneak through. But, I mean, if Ben really wanted to be annoying, he could just fly off. He could just go. I mean, Blue's obviously in a tricky position and he can't do that, but he could just potentially go, right, Zari's nearly down. Zari's not in a good place. I'll fly her away.
Yeah, at this point, Ben doesn't really need to engage.
Yeah. And again, in a casual game, that's annoying and boring. In a tournament...
Oh, in a tournament, fair enough.
MOV, you've got to try and conserve that MOV as much as possible.
Which might be what Stuart's doing, but as we discussed earlier, he knows that he's lacking in the MOV.
Yeah.
I've also just tallied everything up, and it's a 6 health ship list against 29.
Yeah, that's scary.
That is a big difference. The fact that, there's still a full health Obi-Wan here, when you look at just those numbers, is like, what?
Yeah. And the fact that Obi-Wan is more expensive than 2 T-70s put together.
There is also that, yeah. Well, actually, both of them are.
Yes, they both are. Anakin by 1 point, Obi by 4 points. So it is crazy. And it's one of those things of newer players might look at it and go, oh, there's not that much health on that ship. And it might be a bit daunting for them. But it just goes to show it can work.
It can definitely work. I mean,
it can
as
definitely
you said,
work.
Stuart's, before this game, 4-0.
Yeah, 4-0. I mean, we haven't written Stuart off at this point, but he would need to pull something right out of the bag for it to work. And you never know. The Jedi, they're tricky.
It could definitely happen.
But yeah, I mean, I've run lists which are fairly low on hit point count. And at first, you're a bit like, oh, this doesn't feel very comfortable. But then you think of all the tools you give those ships to be able to do it. I mean, Obi-Wan at range 1 to 2 has 4 evade dice.
Yeah.
Range 3 has 5. Behind an obstacle has 6. So it's got the dice there. Lone Wolf, Force. It's got all the tools to do it. And will more than likely boost through and get out of arc of green there.
Also getting closer to blue.
Yeah,
which is the target to go for, I think.
Yeah. So there's a boost. So definitely out of red and green's arc will be at range 3 of Zari.
But Obi-Wan with several force points at range 3, still with the
Yeah.
stealth device.
And
That's a fairly comfortable place to be.
And that is in bullseye, so he does get. So it's 3v2 because that looks like it's range 2 there.
That's good.
So could be auto blasters.
Not spending the force.
Not trying to keep it for maneuverability. So looks like that wasn't auto blasters. That was a regular attack there.
I guess it was range 3.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and that was actually the last S threads there from Zari.
Oh, of course, there's another charge on there, isn't there?
Yeah, 2 charges.
I completely forgot.
I don't blame Ben for going for that, because right now, that target lock would have been amazing for plenty of evades there. Stuart's probably... That's probably going to be a very disappointing turn there for Stuart. He's probably hoping to get at least a point of damage through on blue there.
Yeah, missing out on damage, particularly with not long left. Although the rounds have been going pretty quick, despite having quite a lot of ships. Ben's been fairly quick on the dials, which I always like to see with lists with a lot of ships.
I mean, again, I sing Ben's praises quite a lot, but he's a good player. He's a good person to play against, and I'm pretty confident saying that most people that have played against Ben, despite the result, have probably had a good game. I know that any time I've played Ben, it doesn't matter if he's absolutely trounced me or been really cheeky with false transponders and Jabba the Hutt on my TIE interceptors.
Is that something you want to talk about later after recording?
We might need to have a chat about that. But it's always a really good game. He's always fun to play against, and he's just a genuinely nice guy. And Stuart as well. This is the first time I've met Stuart at this tournament, but he was a really good guy as well, really enthusiastic. He enjoyed playing and knew what he was trying to do with his list as well. And sometimes that's quite good, just having someone who's confident in what they're doing. It's a pleasure to watch.
Yes, I lost, but you know what? I lost to that. It's like, fair enough.
Yeah.
You deserve it after what you did. You know, after you pulled that one crazy maneuver.
Yeah.
Or several.
There's the force for intuitive controls. Really curious as to what Obi-Wan's got dialed in right now.
I wonder if he's gone for another K-turn. Like, get as close as he can to them and then K-turn behind.
I'm wondering either K-turn or the 2 Talon.
I feel like you're risking the board edge. And with where you are now, there's no way that blue can end up blocking the 4K.
Yeah, he can't block the 4K, but I'm thinking that the 2 Talon keeps you a little bit closer. But again, you run the risk of everyone else being there. I mean, you look, red's in a great position just to be a pain. Green is in a good position to get a range 3 if... Oh, that's a bump.
If that is a K-turn.
If that is a K-turn, that is great, because I think that gets out of range 3 of green.
And bullseye still.
And bullseye.
We will have to see.
Is that...
Zari... Ooh, is that going to fit? That's close.
No, but it's Zari, so...
Oh, well, still gets the action, but does miss out on a bit of distance, which might be nice.
Yeah. Probably focus boost.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would that boost actually clip that? No, it wouldn't clip that gas cloud, would it? Not the bendy
I think you
boost.
just went go boost straight.
Yeah.
No, I think a bank... Thing is, a bank then messes you up for the next turn.
Yeah.
I think keeping your distance,
Yeah.
but not looking like you're keeping your distance is good.
Yeah. 4K there from Obi-Wan. That is great. Just outside of range 1, though. That's a bit of a shame. But That's
it's a
not
good
3
shot.
hits. That is good. Oh, and that's 2 going through. That is half points on blue. More points on the board there for Stuart. Just a reminder, he does need 37 points. So if he could take Zari out, that would bring it to even.
Yeah.
But it would come down to final salvo then, and unfortunately, final salvo.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, could happen.
Yeah, it could happen. Do you count final salvo on the highest dice that ship can roll, or on his general?
I would assume the highest.
Yeah, I assume you do it on the balls over 3 there.
But that is a good point. I'm going to see if I can quickly find that out.
I mean, it is worth noting that Obi-Wan does have full force, but he's stressed, so I don't believe that would actually allow him to do intuitive controls or supernatural reflexes, because he needs to clear that stress first.
But he's sitting there comfortably with 3 force.
3 force in a nice position to get behind. 2.5 minutes.
It's enough for maybe 2 rounds?
Maybe 2 rounds.
If he can get in there and just annihilate Zari,
yeah,
then what a way to end the game.
That would be, I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed if it ended up as a draw. It would come down to final salvo as to who gets the win, and if he gets the win, you know, he played it really well. I mean, Obi-Wan is doing work at the moment.
Yeah, after the game went heavily against him, you know, was about the 30 minutes left mark. He's done brilliantly.
So do you reckon slow? Unfortunately, he doesn't really have a great slow maneuver. The best he could do is a 2 forward or a 2 bank, but that's easily blockable. And again, he's stressed, so I'm pretty sure that means he can't do intuitive or supernatural. He could just block with Zari and be laughing. K-turn with blue. Oh, this is actually a lot scarier for Stuart than it would at first appear. Oh no, getting blue out of there. You know what? Don't blame him. Creating a bit of space for red and green as well.
Yeah, this is also certainly going to be the last round.
Yeah. What have we got from... Oh, definitely turning the arc there. I like that. That's actually really well played there. I think he's completely denying Obi-Wan.
Yeah, get close enough that if Obi-Wan has a shot, he's going to have to bump.
Yeah. He's basically making it so that Stuart is now... He's having to go over the top.
Chasing down blue for some points, but...
Oh, yeah.
It's not quite going to be enough, unfortunately.
No, but I mean,
he does get it.
He's got out of... Oh, so he's using his Obi-Wan's ability to get the focus by spending the force, then doing the boost. So he's got out of Green's arc. Zari does have a backward shot. What happens here? Spending that focus. Yeah, you spend that focus. That is a dead Red Squadron there. Heroic. Doesn't really do anything. So that is blue down. Not going to lie, Stuart will be happy about that. But it still leaves him 15 points behind. What can Zari do? Hit crit. Evaded. No worries.
I have found the final salvo wording.
Oh, yeah?
It just says primary weapon value. So I guess you choose which one you want to use, and obviously you would choose the higher one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think at this point any ship had a sort of a 2 different gun primary, because you think even if it had even the TISF, which has the turret doesn't technically count as a primary.
I mean, to be fair, the tournament regulations PDF has not been updated since October 2018. So
a big long while there. But in regards to 2021, that was a fantastic game. Well played by both players there. Stuart, another 15 minutes, and I think he probably could have done it. But that was...
Yeah, for a game that went as long as it did with no points, to end up at 74 to 89, maybe going into a final salvo, very close game, really.
Yeah, I mean, you can't take it away from either player. They flew absolutely brilliantly there. So Stuart and Ben both ending up 4 and 1. Now, I will be putting up on the Out of Arc Instagram the faction splits and also the infographic for the winning list. Unfortunately, they never actually made it up to the top table to appear on the channel, but we will be posting that up on Instagram soon. James, thank you very much for joining me for that round. I hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was a great game to watch. It's the first time I'd seen the Anakin Obi-Wan combo, and that was just a delight to watch.
Yeah, it was great. So again, thank you to all the players who appeared on the channel for this tournament. Again, thank you guys for sticking around and watching with us. We hope you enjoyed it. As I said, if you want to support the channel, we do have the Patreon with the link in the description below. Make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, we will see you next time.